Hello, so before I dance to this motherfucker, I just want you to understand that literally this is a good video. The majority, of my problems, came from liking Kaba Modern, my favorite from America's dance crew. And society doesn't, support linear too much, but know what linear is. So let me explain what linear is as a football player, because my friend James is wide receiver. And see what linear is like. Literally, I'm gonna put my own twist to it. The movie I'm trying to make for Chris, it's about being linear, but it has a martial arts example. And even though I've said that many times, it's really, really big. It could be a Morse code. It could be, a secret, because that's a big government thing. Because linear is clowned on in my society and in whole society. And, but there's a thing in my head, back when I was in the past, literally, if no one was linear, no one would be special, And Mr. Brickhouse Bandit literally is linear. You know what that means? That means he's gonna set the main example. Literally, he's gonna do the thing that's straight. Because linear is known for throwing straight. It's like football. Football has all those different formations. Literally, that is linear. Now I'm adjacent, literally, and I faced my friend James, a whole bunch of times and proven why, adjacent is better. You know why? Adjacent likes linear due to making sense. So what adjacent is you like, linear things, but something big comes into play because you're making sense, okay? And that's true. That's very, very true. And that's a trope. It's been through movies all day. Literally, freaking old man Rossi literally took on my boy E40. Literally back in the day, saying, "Earl, shut up, Earl, shut up." It's true. And Earl's my main mentor. So one thing you have to understand, authority is that and this is bullshit because one thing I knew about the reality show is that literally me, breed everybody. If you're there, you're the best in the world. As Mr. Brass Monkey was tearing shit up, and when it came to me, literally I knew that I was the best in the world, along with Bria, along with Yeshi, literally because of IQ. Now currently they're fooled. Literally they're fooled by the government. They think a gang's got saved them. They think that double and pine literally does mean that, but it doesn't. Literally the best thing and how people become martyrs literally is stop playing off gangs and start playing off society, by itself. Even though gangs know how to delay a certain point, by doubling down with the government, they can make jail, suitable for them instead of an actual consequence. And that's when they help you when you recognize that jail is jail. Like when I went, I recognized that they're talking about fast food, but it was tons of fun. Literally, jokes. Like you're talking about me, I was an anime fan. Literally, I had never seen something more spontaneous. Every single personality was on point, crazy. Not a single beat was skipped. But I recognized that literally what freedom was. Literally, when I speak this shit like, oh, if I go to jail, there's no more tekaichis, there's no more this, and that. It's foreign to them, So, even though why, main things, they're being said in this video, literally, that's a good, completion altogether. That's how I think, okay? Now, let's get to the real deal Diddy in this video. Since me and Yessie literally were tired and fighting and everything, but since they're confused, since they don't want to do things like me, that's why they were the best in the show, because it was me, Yessie, all works of IQ, literally, and because who's ever the most adjacent is the top, who's ever less adjacent, literally, is on the bottom. That doesn't mean, James is less than me, but, in order for things to be adjacent, it has to make sense. That's why you get adjacent results, okay? Now, in order for you, to expand from adjacency, you got to do things like, play sports or join gangs because they have more proportion. You see, the way to escape adjacency is more proportion, okay? That means do a lot more. But when you're adjacent, you do the right thing at the right time, like me in the ARL. Okay, so let's get to that. All right, so let's really, really get to about this business here, because where it's at, with my mother, and why, she raised such a good kid, such a disciplined kid. It's because he didn't tolerate what other mothers tolerate. Like other mothers go into this and play around with it. Literally, my mom was straight. And so let's get into, a main example. My boy Sabadu, who I was trying to make Subaru, right? So, what ended up happening was, I know, through a grown man, you can't fool me, because I know the Arrow had a rocky start. They're not perfect, literally, no matter how much you try to fool me. They started off as worse nerds than me, literally calling out their social skills for being bad, literally holding on to a cartoon way more, holding on to animation way more, and guess what ends up happening? They end up, saying the main social examples, literally, when I get there, like Troy, running away from his boy, for example. And Sabo, literally, I was all like, I'm gonna eat you, Sabo. Literally, guess what happens? About happens, I have a little explosion, literally saying that I won, but how it actually happened was repulsed, okay? So what Sabu does literally is he's like, man, I barely know you, and I can't have you, call me out as a grown ass man. Literally, that's exactly what I forward shit with my mom. Like when it comes to therapists, like when Eris, when you first meet someone, do this and that. That's exactly what I'm trying to get out in this video is that they skipped up, real life where it came to fucking bitches and shiny jeans, and literally got to main social skills like literally muscle, literally self control, slow and impactful. They had all that shit without having common sense, and that's why I got in trouble. And that's a big thing. There's two more points that I was trying to make up for this video. And there's another point, all the way from, people being raped in company to me literally having mirages. That's actually reality. There's a Court Network timeline that already happened with grandma that's saying, that me and her are watching, it happened in reality that we were watching battalions, okay? Literally, that's when we went back in time, literally, and played Primo TV, literally, my version of Cartoon Network. Literally, before Grandma got run over by a reindeer, all that stupid shit happened. Go check my Instagram for more things. I am a Ravens fan, and they are doing it this year. After I noticed that Billie Eilish was in her fucking bikini the whole time, so, that was a fucking plus. That was back when I was already in Chicago, so, I'm not bullshitting here, And what happened when you're putting me on the street, literally, you ignored my rap career, you ignored that I was part of Fabulous, you ignored this and that. It's like, I could easily fuck Beyonce and got inside my mental health, so I'm like, whatever. Yeah, it's not fucking cool. It's not cool at all. So, the truth of the matter is, it came from, the Primo TV timeline. Literally, we woke up watching battalions saying, this is what you gotta do to beat the family, this, and that, all the way to the point where the meat is saying, right now, if I was to watch battalions in front of their face, is this Eris? Because of its concept, right? Literally, you call out, literally, the people sound like white people in dumpster trucks, literally, in the gums of this shit, literally, and guess what ends up happening? It's like, is that my R-body Eris? Literally, the guy that was different, literally, the guy who actually lived up to Dragon Ball Z, saying that I don't want to do DBZ no more, because I actually want to bang woman, literally, that's literally what the beat is saying is bullshit. Literally, it's very complex. What they say versus what they're forced to say with the spice string versus the actual reality. The people that I just in school, I just saw a Gabaya fan literally with sleeves in the school, and guess what happened literally earlier? I got out law for police, okay? It's not good. It's not good at all. That's why I'm putting this shit on YouTube. I'm trying not to yell in real life, and I'm trying to, forbid, it forever expanded, because we all know what happened with Paige, and we all know what happened in the beginning of 29, okay? So it's not good, So if you can't give me professional tools, like I say over and over in my channel, literally, that's the thing. So the big part, literally, one of the big 3 points, literally, was the aerial skipping, major social skills, but being able to set a big example. So I'm gonna, leave that there for this video, and let's continue to have the other 2 discussions in a further video, but I'm going to dance this outfit. So this is Bootrix, and I'm out.